now we're back, and feels like, yeah, the little thing is ticking along, and it says it's good. So let's turn on some music. Okay, I'm gonna have this output a little bit lower than usual. Oh no, this is good. This is good. We're gonna introduce the fellowship here. I hope my friend is on. Can hear me, Chris? Can you talk?
I can still hear you.
All right, and if anybody in the chat would like to agree that Chris is audible, then that would be appropriate. But probably everybody stopped stopped watching, if anybody was watching at all, other than Boxer and Sextra. Okay, so let's just continue, because it's, as long as this is going, then it's recording, and it can be a record of our conversation and the notes and all that, and it's good. It's the best way to do this, in my opinion.
Perfect.
Because I might be like, oh yeah, I totally remember what you said, but then I don't remember, and then I can go back and just look at it. And did you know that I can, when I upload these after the fact to what is it, YouTube will totally like put together a very accurate closed caption. Yeah, like I've gone back and I've looked. I'm like, it knows every, no matter how much I mumble or screw up what I'm talking about, it totally gets everything as accurate as anybody could, which is an amazing use of tech, appropriate use of AI right there. Okay, so I'm going
Thanks,
to
AI.
Yeah, thanks. Oh, AI saves the day again. That's no, it's happened so many times where they're like, Max, this is great, but we need it at this resolution. And I'm like, oh god. And I bring it into Photoshop, and I'm like, should you use the AI experimental upres? And I'm like, let's try it, and it like does it perfectly, and I'm like, fucking AI saves the day again. So there you go. So I'm gonna pull up the party portrait thing that I was working on, and you can see it here. And okay, now we'll just make this big.
We did play on Friday.
Okay, that's great.
And everyone is very much on board with love the idea of the movie poster.
Okay, cool.
And then I was able to send you the actual Hero Forge files.
Yeah, that's extremely cool. That's extremely helpful.
Yeah, so I was trying to, because you're the expert here, but I was trying to, like, even some of the poses I redid.
Yeah.
So that you would be able to, so we have another person joining us. So that you would be able to.
What do you mean joining us in Discord?
In Discord, yeah.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, is it my brother, or let's see here. Oh, Nuzokara. I mean, you can chat if you want to, but I'm chatting with my buddy Chris, who is sort of commissioning me to work on some. Nuzo, you should just be in the stream, if anything, because we're streaming right now, and he's. Yeah, no, it's not a big deal. We could do if you want to chat on another stream, that would be totally fine. But at this point, this is more of an experimental thing that I'm working the bugs out of. So.
Okay.
All right.
Liking the stuff I'm seeing on stream though too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, cool. I mean, I love gabbing. Instead of drawing, I like to just gab. But of course, in this case, I'm trying to be productive with my buddy Chris. So he's got a D&D project that we're sort of launching. It's a side quest. That's what I'm calling it, actually. It's a side quest because it's yeah. So it's not going to step on the toes of the Zelda stuff too much, but it'll be a thing. So I'm going to politely request that you exit the Discord chat, and then but we'll do another chat some other time. That'll be great.
That sounds good. Yeah. Anytime. Enjoy your time. Enjoy your stream.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll chat more later. I'm curious. I like the use of the tech here, so that's good. All right, Chris, we'll continue and
So I was trying to be a little helpful with the Hero Forge stuff, and I don't know how helpful I was.
No, that's very helpful.
And so I also tried to maybe redo some of the poses just so you could see them a little better, and because the ones I sent you later, I don't know if you have any of those up. Like,
yeah. So I have these.
What our miniatures became. So these miniatures are printed, so that's what Hero Forge. Not to like plug a thing, but
no, that's extremely cool.
Create a miniature, and then they can actually they'll send you the STL or they'll print it for you, and so we actually all have custom miniatures of our characters.
Right.
With my brilliant lighting on top of my notebook. Yeah. But that's the idea, and so we have these custom miniatures for our game. But it also gives us a kind of what our character looks like.
Yeah.
And so we got to customize what our characters looked like to a certain extent. And
I was curious if you had
been a lot of
3D
fun.
printed them, but I guess you use that 3D printing stuff more for like the environment stuff, right?
I lost, yeah.
Oh no. Really? No, I'm still here. No, come on. What do you mean you lost me? I'm still streaming.
I lost your voice
You can't hear me at all?
on Discord. No.
Hello? Oh, wait. What? Hello? It's here. My God, okay.
Oh, you're back.
What the? How do I add? Okay, here I
There
am
you are.
again. Okay, I don't know what happened. You hear me?
Sorry. Yep, I hear you.
All right, this stuff is going to give me a heart attack. All right, I don't know what I'm doing with that, but like I swear I did nothing. Okay, well, here. So this is extremely cool to see, like this tech and the stuff that you're printing out. And I was commenting about the that because when I was at your house last, I spotted you guys have like a 3D printer, right? Don't you? Something like that was.
I do, yeah, I do. I actually just gave mine away, but I have friends who print,
Oh, okay.
So they've been printing them. But I did paint some of the models, and so that was fun.
Is there like a specific reason? Like the eye is different here. Is that like a glass eye?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it might just be
Like error?
So it might be that one of the eyes is covered. So there's actually a little painting tool
Ah,
that you can go in and color the different things. So it might just be you
that's
couldn't get
funny.
the one eye, but as far as I know, he has the same colored eyes.
Okay, I wondered if it was something specific because I saw that in the model. I was like, is that a... I even replicated it here. So it looked
really?
it looked so specific. I was like, maybe he's got glowing eyes or something like that. But if it's just normal eyes,
No, it's just normal eyes.
Okay.
Yeah, as far as I know.
I find this tech and this stuff to be extremely cool because getting like a turnaround of like characters is super interesting.
And none of this existed. We started this game 10 years ago, right? When
Right.
was starting, and none of this stuff really existed. So we just found models that were more or less correct.
Yeah.
And then once this thing started, we were able to like really customize. And some of us actually have multiple versions. So that's actually the second version of Carwin, because when he hit a higher level, he was able to sprout wings.
Okay.
And same with the lady with the big axe.
He likes big axes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't lie. She originally had a sword, and then she acquired this axe, which is specifically for killing dragons. And so we had to redo her model to incorporate the axe.
Case in point, big axe. A big axe.
Yeah.
This is cool. It's just so helpful to like get a little dimension and like see. I'm like, okay, so like something that might be ambiguous is like so clear now, and anyway, just endlessly helpful to have this. Super helpful just to get like a and even the poses are improved from the first round of references that you sent as well. So that's great. So, I mean, like, this is great. This is great stuff. So, give me some direction now, I guess. Or say what you wanted to say, because you were like, okay, we can tell you some things that will help, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I when you were talking about, noticing the structure of the, how the poses were kind of fixed, I think it's the nature of this program, because everything has to kind of fit together. And so when you are designing the model and you're trying to like move the one arm or move the thing up or down, there is a little bit of rigidity to it that, if you're trying to capture like a moment in time, so it's probably not as fluid as it could be. because each one of these, if you ever get a chance to go in and play around with it, it's pretty fun. But that's you're spot on with that analysis. The one thing I also wanted to add is, we are not. These were poses that were chosen for a miniature, and which is the requirements for that are going to be different, obviously, than for a poster.
Mm-hmm.
So don't feel like these have to be
right. Yeah. No, they're suboptimal. Yeah, exactly. No.
Thing you want to do.
Well, that's the reason you come to an artist to. You didn't lose me again. That's your fault this time.
You didn't lose me again. That's your fault this time. Sure, I can hear you on Discord. Sorry, I can hear you on Twitch.
You hear me on Twitch, okay? But maybe if I leave Discord again and come back, I'll disconnect and I'll double click you. Join voice here. Try it again. I don't know. You still no hear me? And now I don't.
Nope, there you're back. Say something again.
Hey.
Yep. Okay.
All right. Well, we'll just do this periodically until it stops fucking up.
Yeah.
Okay. Keep going.
Question: Does that software allow you to download and use your own STL? So you can download the STL.
Question: What's STL? What's STL?
It is it's the
file format.
What are they called? It's a file format for things that you're going to print. Yeah. So.
But what does it stand for?
You buy something.
Come on, this is an educational stream.
That's true. And I am a teacher. I am the wrong kind of teacher. Yeah. Good question. I don't know. So you buy the STL, to answer the question in the chat. You buy the STL from heroforge.com, and then you print it on your own thing. If you want to, you can actually have them print it for you. And if you're not a painter, you can actually have them print it, and it will actually come roughly in the color that you specify. So it'll look kind of like this.
Interesting.
Because I know enough people who have their own resin printers, they just do it for me.
Well, that's interesting and extremely cool. This is like a great service. I bet these people make bank. Did my thing drop off again? My thing dropped off again. Yeah. You can't hear me again, can you? That is so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what I think it is whenever you're talking for more than a few seconds, I think what's happening is whenever you talk for more than 5 seconds, it just disconnects me. Yeah. Well, I'll keep going. And I hear you.
A little dragon. They added a squirrel later.
Oh, this thing? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
I hear back.
Okay. Now I'm back. Okay. Okay. Maybe I don't know what the best way to keep that from happening is, but at least we've made some progress. When you don't hear me, I'm just going to leave the Discord and come back, and that'll just be something. So okay, we'll just have that signal. Yeah, and I think if we if I just sort of ramble on and mumble, maybe Discord won't keep disconnecting me. It'll sort of think that I'm active the entire time. Yeah.
One last comment that I wanted to make is you were mentioning that some of the proportions seem off, and again, that's a really good observation because for a lot of miniatures, they're done in what's called heroic scale.
Okay.
Which is where the head and hands and weapons are all
like overemphasized.
Overemphasized, so you can see them. So the axe, if you were to scale up the one axe, that thing would be, I mean, that is like Final Fantasy level of ridiculousness.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
So those don't have to be. These could probably be portioned down.
Yeah, and I would tailor what's going on here to something that felt like it didn't feel like they were. They remind me of, and it's completely appropriate. Is that Warhammer 3 game that we played a long time ago, and it where. It was important that you could read the distinct characteristics of the characters from a bird's eye view, and we can do that, and it's clear. But they're not meant to be in these proportions. So like this person probably, even though they are an elf, you know, they're not necessarily human. We could give them human proportions. No one would find that offensive.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And the squirrel is oversized too.
Is a gnome. That is a gnome.
This is a gnome.
3 feet tall. Yeah.
Okay, so this one is the 3 foot tall one. Okay.
We have two that are about 3 feet tall. So we have a halfling and a gnome.
Okay.
They're both very short.
All right.
And then we have, and then everyone else is human sized.
Okay, that's good to know.
With, I think, I'm probably one of the shorter one. The Carwin there is probably one of the shorter ones. Alaronda is also one of the shorter ones. Yeah.
Okay. And really, this one is a shorter one?
Well, shorter in human size, but on the shorter side of human.
Okay, that's interesting. She having the smaller head actually looks like she's one of the tallest, but that's interesting. But is that anyway? I will take that under advisement. You actually gave me a height breakdown of them. I just didn't memorize it.
Okay.
Yeah, you actually did, which is something I requested, which is helpful.
Perfect.
So all these characters look really cool. Am I supposed to? This thing on the side, we don't need to have anything to do with it. Okay.
That is just
trying to sell us stuff.
Change the pose, or if you wanted to add a little animal companion.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll ignore that for now. I don't know why it's insisting on anything. Okay, but that all sounds good. All of these are opening up fine. Let me make sure this wizard opens up, because this was the last one on the deck that it also looks extremely cool. Yeah. Reading books, owl. And so
the owl is his familiar. So is part of the group.
Yeah, and I love the idea of like including the familiar, like, you know, the squirrel, like if it's integral to the character, like it makes sense. If the owl, like it would, drawing animals is cool, and it would be cool to integrate those into the scene too.
Any kind of small animal for the druid is fine, because she's a druid, and so she talks to animals and she does all those druidy things. Druidy
things, yes. Contemplates the mushrooms and such. Let's see here.
The signal.
The signal. I lost the signal? You don't hear me? Okay, here, I'll drop off. Disconnect and join. All right, well, hopefully you hear me again. I just joined again. Okay, so if, let's see here. Let me know when you hear, when and if you hear me again. Streamer mode is enabled. Username's been tricky. It's okay. Let's turn that off. Okay. You still don't hear me?
Again.
Okay.
No.
Come on back. I hear you. That's funny. Here, I'll leave and I'll come back.
Oh.
Hey, coming back. Hear me now? There's got to be a better way.
Oh, there you are.
Okay. I do enjoy this tech, but there's some streamlining to get sorted. Okay, so let's do. Apparently, me rambling doesn't stop it from dropping out, so I won't make a point to do that. But let's assume that all of the characters look good, or like I've got enough references for them. Do you think there's more to the characters that I should be? You need to tell me something about them. Like, does someone have? I don't know. Like if it feels like this is good, but like I shouldn't feel constrained to the poses that they're in, and just make sure that they're in basically human-ish proportions. You know, more realistic proportions, basically, not hero scale, as you were saying.
Yeah, I don't want you to feel beholden to the poses.
Okay.
So for the people who are tuning in, this is not the first time I've asked you to do a piece of art for me. We used to do those shirts back in the day for.
The fencing shirts. Yes, yeah.
And I will. I'm gonna stoke your ego here a little bit, Max. Every time I would have an idea and pitch it to you, the end result was always better than my version in my head.
Well, of course.
I'm gonna use. Well, of course.
It's only natural.
For people who don't know, Max and I have known each other for 30 years.
Yeah, long ass time, right? Shit, is it that long? It really is, isn't it? Holy fucking shit!
30 years. Yeah. but my
Dude,
one
it's
I have,
wrong.
yeah,
The math
yeah.
can't math that way. That's
Um,
messed up.
but I remember specifically the one you did where it was like I was my idea was Game of Thrones, but the throne is made out of fencing blades.
Yes,
And in my
yeah.
head, I had an image, and then the actual final result was way cooler. So there is an immense level of trust here, where it's like you um,
Love to
take
hear
this
it. I love
idea
to hear it.
and run with it, and whatever. If you think, hey, this will be better this way, do
Uh-huh.
it. So
Man, I barely remember doing that, but yes, those were good projects. You may recall actually that this is not even our first D&D project together. That long ago, back when you first did that campaign with the other people at school. Do you remember that? Or did my voice drop off?
that was about 30 years ago.
That was about 30 years ago, but I think I did it actually to make fun of
That
you.
was seventh grade. I think I still have some of those pages.
Maybe you do. I don't know if I have any of those left, but I know that essentially, I don't know if I was invited to and then said no, but then was like, oh, they're having fun without me, so I'll make a comic book that makes fun of them. But then I had
the best part.
Yeah, go ahead.
The best part of that was, some people were playing elves, and your only reference for elves at the time wasn't like Tolkien; it was like Santa's elves.
Yeah, it really was. But it was
elves with like Santa's elves.
Yeah, well, to me it made sense, and I think it also checked the box of I'm gonna make fun of these nerds, and well,
Yeah.
at the time it was sort of like this. I'll be honest, I was a little immature for my age, maybe at the time.
Well,
But,
we were in 7th, 8th grade at the time, so
Yeah.
we weren't exactly like super mature. But it was very funny. I remember being very funny, and I'm sure the humor holds up just fine.
Yeah.
But,
That was ahead of its time because it was
yeah.
it was in like a kind of like anime format too,
Mhm.
so it that stuff does numbers these
I'll
days.
see if I can track those down. I know you inked 3 pages because they're all done in pencil, but you inked like 3 pages of it.
Yeah, it's
And
something
I
like that.
had
Yeah.
them, and I put them in a folder, and I think I still have that folder.
Okay.
So if
Well,
I can track that down, I will make copies of it for you.
if you can, that'd be cool. But no worries if you don't. That's if anything,
Piece of
it's
history.
incredibly cringe, and it's like the definition of cringe. The very, very old art. Me drawing something when I'm absolutely unskilled, but and it was a little bit mean-spirited too. So I reflect on it with shame. Of course. However, your character looked pretty cool. I guess that
I think my character was I was playing a minotaur. And
yeah,
so
you were
a
minotaur character, so that was kind of cool.
with very low intelligence and wisdom. So
Yeah,
I did
yeah.
a lot of stupid things.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious to our 12 and 13-year-old brains.
Yeah, nothing could have been more entertaining. Absolutely nothing.
I kind of forgot that was D&D. So yeah, this is now our second.
Yeah, this is our
3 years apart. This is our second D&D collaboration.
So it's a bit of a collaboration. We have a history of the Dungeons and Dragons collaborations. Well, it's very it's this sort of dovetails though with I'll be honest, some I was going to do it anyway, but the extent to which I decided I wanted to do it right was not entirely born of selflessness. These projects that I've been doing, as you know, I do this work professionally, but also but not really in this vein. I do sketches for essentially the work I do in storyboards is sketches, and I don't do finished pieces really. In fact, those fencing t-shirts I designed for you were like the only times that anybody even ever wanted me to do any finished work, and we all have our strengths and stuff like that, but this is a fun opportunity for me to branch out a little bit. I'm looking to not be as dependent on the, how should I put this? There is a reality where the work that I do is it comes to me through clients that for a long time I've just been sort of I've hitched my wagon to them and watched them, you know, succeed, and I help them succeed, and their success is my success up to a point. And now it feels, and it's just sort of, it was like well, trust in us, Max, and we'll never lead you astray. And then now now I'm not so it's not so clear to me that they know how to navigate the waters ahead. And it's not so much I'm trying to mutiny or anything like that, but maybe it's not a bad idea to like have a little life preserver of my own on the side that I can.
Diversification.
It's an extreme diversification where I'm actually trying to remake myself as an artist that has nothing to do with storyboards at all, or at least the mainstream entertainment industry. I don't know what really that will entail. So either it can be something where I'm educating, or just doing commissions, or I'll be like one of those internet artists or something like that. But because I have a lot of like cinematic and entertainment experience, the idea of taking the party portrait, the D&D group, and using that as a basis to create a sort of a concept arty, but also sort of like a mock movie poster composition is sort of a great sort of portfolio piece that sort of, you know, could speak to my skill and would be worth doing well. So that's sort of.
Well, I was a little wary about approaching you because I know you're busy, and I don't want to, you know, take advantage of our friendship to have you do these projects. Especially, you know, because we did those T-shirts a while back, but I know that especially as you got busier and busier, that got harder and harder.
It's been so long since you took advantage of my friendship. It's been so long.
Well, but you know, so when they suggested, hey, you know, because the DM's wife owns a winery, family owns a winery, and she's like, well, maybe we can pay him in wine. And I'm like, well,
does he perchance drink? Yeah.
If Max does wine, his wife definitely will do it. So.
Yeah. No, I am absolutely entertained by the idea of being paid in wine, and honestly, it doesn't have to be like. I don't know. I don't like I have no conceptions of like the quantity of wine. It's a hell of a deal, of course, but it is a believe it or not, this is a I would do it for a pittance, for a smile, right? I'll do it for a song. You know, Chris is a very, very old and there are very few friends that you can carry for 30 years like that and still pick up like it's nothing. So it's just born out of appreciation. But yeah, wine for me is as good as money. I think we all know my appetite for booze is significant. But this is just a fun idea. You know, it's like what kind of story could be better than that? Yeah. It's good. It's just a fun idea. So, do you guys have a preference as far as? Let me tell you something that I think would be better for me. Is the
okay.
It may not be your preference, and if it really is going against like the idea of what's best for the group, I want to know about it. But if we could do something that was like a vertical format, I think that would be better for me, because I'm actually trying to get more vertical pieces in the hey Sextra and Nemina, how are you? Obviously we saw you in the chat too, and if anybody has questions or whatever, they can ask them. But the idea of doing more vertical pieces, because I'll tell you something, I've been doing the Zelda pieces in like widescreen format, and they do okay, but there's something about the vertical options seem to be more promising in terms of like I don't know, having anything that people might pay attention to, because I am actually trying to do that too, is
Yeah.
get a little bit noticed on social media. I don't know if that's a huge issue. So if people are like, yeah, I don't want him to post it on social media, like I'd want to know that sooner than later.
I don't think we have any worries about. We don't have any concerns over that. Feel free to, you're
Cool.
doing this for us. We will be happy to, use it to
Humor me to post it for my tens of fans to press the like button.
There are dozens of us.
There are literally dozens of us.
Oh, I think I lost you again.
Oh no! Well, I'm here. Here, I'll duck out and come back out. Oh, there we go. That's funny. Disconnect. How the call go? Join voice, and hopefully it just comes back. But anyway, I'll keep rambling. Let me know when you hear me. This should be cool. Yeah, the vertical format. I'll work on a composition there, and make sure that is. I normally. The way I think about you hear me?
And so part of the idea was having something that we could put in our house. So like having a movie poster would be just fine. Like I would put that up in our house. I think so.
Yeah.
I think that would be very cool.
Very cool. You hear me now? You said? No?
And because your art is digital, we can easily all get a copy of it and we can each
Yeah, exactly. You could get it printed nicely. Again, I'm not sure if you hear me, but I
heard you for a quick second.
Oh, you did hear me? Damn it. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was working. This would be a you must be able to hear me. Yes? No? Oh well. Yeah, I'm very curious to see how my artwork prints. I haven't printed anything in a long time, and I'm not exactly great at designing stuff for print. So if there are issues, this is also a good way to test some of that out too.
I think our DM is actually on the stream right now.
Oh, really?
He just sent me a message. Yeah, he just said he has a great spot above his desk. That'd be amazing for a movie poster. So.
Oh, that's fun. He can look at. He can. Yeah. Anybody can chat in the stream. It's not a.
Yeah.
Identify yourself, sir. So just whoever is watching, just so they know, I don't look at the viewership because that would give me anxiety. So if there is anybody watching and lurking, it's not something that I would be able to see. And then that's by design. There we go. Totally not a beholder. This is true, but I'm just a random name to you, which is why I went to Chris first. No, I saw that you followed me on Twitch, and totally not a beholder is a hilarious name that I totally think is hilarious. I wasn't sure. And Chris, you don't have a Twitch account, so you can't follow me?
I do actually follow you, but it's actually Jessica's account. So
okay, well, it's all good.
Lucas. Yeah, I'm on there right now. But yeah, I use. It goes back to Jessica's account was tied to our Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah.
So I don't have my own.
All right. Well,
I'm not hip enough.
I think you're of age. No, it's yeah. Were you already on Discord too?
Yeah. No, I've been on Discord. That's where we organize all of our stuff for
okay.
Gaming.
That's cool. All right. Like I'm new to Discord.
For that.
All right. Oh, you're too hip for Discord. You're fired. You got to get off. All right. So let's chat a little bit about things that could be important to see in the composition. Is there now essentially you guys are going up against this big dragon. Can you speak to your sort of experience with the dragon and why that's sort of important to have it featured?
Yeah.
And yeah, give us some lore here.
Yeah, I'll do a little lore dump. So when we first started the campaign, we were hired by a mysterious figure to do a bunch of stuff, and we were at one point by a large, we thought was a copper dragon, and so we went in to go fight a black dragon. And we were assisted by this mysterious figure who we assumed was an ally. and turns out that it was actually the green dragon in disguise all along.
All right.
We defeated the black dragon, then were betrayed by the green dragon, and one of our party members was killed, although he got better. And we that was kind of the first half of the campaign, and at that point we actually took a little break. Our DM's wife, they were having a baby. She's part of the group as well. She's the blue skinned one, the with the shield and the mace that you did earlier. They had a baby, so we switched a little bit, and I actually ran a game for a little while, and then we came back and we did a bit of a time jump.
Oh, cool.
Campaign. So we took about a year time jump, and we jumped back in, and now the goal was to get revenge on this green dragon, and kind of take out a bunch of other evil things in the world. So this green dragon has been kind of our nemesis, even though we didn't necessarily realize it. It's been our nemesis for this whole time, and like I said, this campaign, we've been now coming up on a 10-year anniversary. So it's been a long time coming.
Well, that's very cool. Very cool. How does a green dragon transform so that you don't recognize them? That feels like a little bit of plot armor. I don't know. I would flag that as a little bit contrived. No. Oh, polymorph, of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
A lot of dragons have the ability to kind of take a different form, especially very powerful dragons.
Just out of magic, then, of course. It's just magic.
So
okay.
Magic, so they can kind of fit in. So we've actually met. So, I don't know how I'm familiar with D&D lore, but there's two main types of dragons.
Oh, okay.
There are chromatic dragons, which are the red, green, black, blue, white, and then there are metallic dragons, which are silver, gold, bronze, brass, copper. Chromatic dragons tend to be or are evil. The metallic dragons are good, and so we have allies in the form of the metallic dragons, and so we've met them in their various human or dragon forms, and the chromatic dragons are evil, and this is a custom world that are totally not a beholder. Our DM made, and so there's a little bit of different kind of rules as far as magic goes in this world as opposed to like the main D&D setting. And so we're tracking down the primary players and taking them out one by one. So the only chromatic dragon left is the green dragon. All the rest of them are dead. So she's our big bad of the campaign.
A little bit like this is like a Skyrim-ish. Am I getting that right?
Yeah. Well,
Like, again, something else I haven't played, so I'm just talking like I know anything. But
yeah. So so D&D, the different dragons have different abilities. Green dragons tend to be a little more of the sneakier, deceptive types. They have poison-based attacks. They tend to live in the forest. Red dragons have fire-based attacks. They tend to live in volcanoes and stuff like that. White dragons have frost-based attacks, and they tend to live, in places where it's very cold, and so just each dragon has their own little thing that they do.
What would be, sorry if you said, but what would be the attack that this dragon would do?
Like a poison gas kind of spray.
Okay, so not fire.
Not fire for this one, no.
Okay, these are good details for me as a illustrator to hone in on. Are there, is it possible that I'm trying to think of things that would be interesting. Is it possible that you guys in the first battle against it, or when you first went up, did anybody leave a scar on the dragon that might have persisted that would have been interesting as a visual note?
Not particularly. In fact, when we first encountered the dragon, we were not at a level to even damage it.
Okay.
So now we've leveled up.
Okay. So let's see here. Do any of the, would it be that any of the characters would have a particular scar? How did the one guy die and get better? Was that something that does it maybe it doesn't matter for the
I don't
purposes of
remember
this.
how he died. He got better through magic.
he just got killed then.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Maybe our DM can remember. It's been a while.
Okay, 10 years ago, yes,
Yeah.
I imagine it.
Yeah, it's been a spell.
not,
But
not leaping to the forefront of your brain.
no, he got
little detail.
trapped. He got like trapped in like a magic sphere with the dragon and tried to
Got backhanded
trying to
by the
damage
dragon,
it.
more
Yeah,
or less. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
basically, Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
bitch slapped is the technical term.
Yeah, and that was after we'd already fought another dragon, so we were all kind of weakened at that point.
Okay.
So,
All right. I dig it. So let me think here. Okay. I just want to make sure that.
oh, and I love that how her features are more on the drawing you're doing. The features are more realistic.
Yeah, well, I know for all these, I was like, oh, I'll just sort of do a faithful study to the reference. But I found I was fighting it just to stop fixing things. And so in this, I'm sort of being like, well, let's just turn off that part of my brain and draw it the way I feel like I might help it along a little bit. So sort of like a hybrid. Let's be faithful to like what I'm looking at, but also like we can demonstrate, as we go that, and you said that this person is a gnome, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Gnomes
she
and
can't get
halflings
too
are-
tall. Yeah,
No, yeah, gnomes and halflings are, in the 3 foot to 4 foot range.
right. So I'm not gonna give her the heroic proportions, but a little bit of something isn't too bad. Here, her eyeline could be a little bit more obvious with the excuse me, with this little squirrel thing. Let me think here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I need to have. Hey, Lamp, what's going on? I'm doing a voice chat with my buddy, getting some details on essentially a new side quest, which is a D&D commission drawing, basically drawing people that are in their D&D group as a fun gift in return for friendship. Wine-based wine-based friendships. Yeah. Alcohol soaked friendships. Yeah, Chris and I were good friends, and then we became of drinking age, and then we had a lot in common. That really helped things.
It didn't stop us before either.
No, nothing could stop us. Nothing could stop us. But this is cool. Okay, so let me sort of think just a little bit more. What and this won't necessarily reflect much in terms of like what will or won't be like hard for me to do, but I'm curious if there is like do you have an idea of like final dimensions that would be, I mean, if I made it like just essentially like a normal poster size, like you went and bought a poster that seems like it's adequate, right? Okay.
Yeah, like a movie poster.
Something that fit in like a standard movie poster frame that you could print out and frame. Okay, that sounds good. Let me think what else. Only because it was such a hassle to get the voice chat thing to work in the first place that I don't want to have to do this one more time if there were a bunch of other questions that I needed to ask you. But I don't know. I mean, is anybody like the leader of the like? Does it matter?
Ooh,
should everybody?
That is a good question.
Yeah, I don't want to give like what are the politics at play here? So like what happens with it, like my day job is like with the storyboarding stuff. There's going to be like sometimes I'll be on a Target commercial and there are like 5 products that are in the Target commercial that all need like 3 seconds each. And those need equal weight, like equal screen time. It's this like power imbalance, like because they're all represented by different brands. All the synergies need to, all the stakeholders essentially.
I think giving that equal weight would be good.
Okay.
There isn't really anyone, and also I think including the green dragon as the because we each have our character, but the DM does not have a character. The DM is everybody else. And so having the dragon there as the visual representation of our DM also would be very good, because then everyone in the group would actually be represented.
Yeah, but who cares about the DM? What do they do?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Gosh.
That's the easy job.
Gosh, what about it? Just like, come on, just let us play. Right? All right.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So I totally get it. Then what would probably make sense? How many people are in the party?
Let's see. So the original group, there were 5 of us, and then we added the wizard Yonkis, who's kind of in and out. That he joined in. When
should that be reflected? Okay.
I think we should. I think he should have
the equal weight. Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure.
An important group. Yeah. Even though he wasn't there the entire time, he's still part of the group.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, my character obviously is the most important. So,
yeah. Well, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. At least, yeah, he would think so.
Yeah. I'll make sure I capture his good side.
Yeah.
And then let me think. So that's great to know. I wonder. So essentially, what I could sort of see then is, then, what was the number that you said? How many people were in it?
So there's 6 in the group, and then our DM would be the 7th.
So that's great. So that's perfect, because it's we could get 3 sort of bust sort of sized portraits on one side, and 3 on the other side, and then in the middle there could be a and I would try to make the poses look a little bit, it's not just like a face, looking at camera or anything like that. It would be like, a little bit of like reacting or like, sort of feeling somewhat integrated into the visual of the dragon, yet obviously in order to read their face, if they're scaled up, there could be like some sort of interesting texture or a pattern of color or swirls that are something that feels like magic is sort of the stitch that brings these portraits together, and it'll just sort of read that like these people are in a group, coalescing around a goal, which is the more or less to defeat the dragon. Does the dragon have anything like I think I asked you this before, and if the DM is in the group, but like where the battle takes place, like do we have any information about like, is it going to happen on a waterfall? Is it on a rocky peak? We
are heading underground. That is
okay.
Like where we left off on Friday is literally we're about to go into the mouth of a cave.
Okay. All right. Cool.
We are going to be.
And the dragon is underground.
We're going to be fighting some kind of like marionettes, puppeted things controlled by her.
Okay.
As we head into this cave to go into her lair.
Okay, female dragon. The most dangerous kind. That makes sense. Fungal-infested lair under a coniferous forest. Okay, that's cool. All right, that's good to know. Okay. I can hear that my wife and kids have returned home, so I will use this as a... Oh, okay. Well, everyone else can still hear me. Let's see if I can hang up and come back to it here. So, all right. So hopefully in a second, Chris will catch my voice and understand what I'm saying. I'll be a little bit patient with that.
Usually where I sign off then.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can, yep.
Okay, cool. Because that's what I'm doing is I'm saying the wife and kids are here, so it's time for me to get going. And I did a little sketching in the meanwhile, so that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a little progress. So this is just practice. Awesome. This isn't what will be the pose. However, because it isn't necessarily that bad, it doesn't necessarily have to be a huge departure from it. But this is just sort of building it up in my mind as a getting it into my short-term memory, you know, a little bit of
Her
fluency.
is actually one of my favorites too. So
Okay. All right, cool. Well, I mean, maybe it'll look like this. What I'll do, so expect this, is I'll probably do a few more streams where I'm actually just doing studies of the characters, because there's still a few more to go. And then I'll work out some compositions, and they'll just be very loose, very rough thumbnails. So you guys can get a sense of like, oh, this is like a extremely simplified miniature version of what this might look like, and can we all agree that this is something we want to say give it the green light? And then if it is, then it's something where I'll start to make the poses more detailed and work forward from there. So it'll be cool.
that sounds great.
All right, cool. Well, then this is fun. Here, I'm going to ask you to say bye and then leave the voice channel, and then I will sign off and we will call it a stream with that.
All right. Well, it's been great chatting with you. Give my love to your wife and children, and
All right, I will.
We'll see you soon.
All right, sounds good, man. All right, talk to you later.
Take care.
All right,
Bye.
later. Okay, so that is done, and so I thought that went well enough, minus all the terrible technical difficulties at the top. We managed to pull it off, and it's a miracle. Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick little thumbnail attempt here. And so this is going to be a side quest. We're going to keep going with the Zelda stuff for a while, but the idea of doing something fun and having it kill 10 birds with one stone is was irresistible to me, so I must do it. Anyway, I'll do a... No, that's not my best angle for that. There we go. I don't know. Any one of those faces will be a fun thumbnail. Okay, so with that, I'd like to say anybody who's listening, thanks for joining, and tune in maybe later for more streaming. We'll see how the day goes. All right. Talk to you all later. Adios.